So going back to your question, how to make peace with death, you first must make peace with life. Because the more peaceful you are with life, the more peaceful you'll be with death. All right? There's a wonderful poem in a book written by Stephen Levine, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and Stephen Levine wrote books on death and dying. They worked with the dying, right? And they had so many spiritual experiences with those that are dying. You know, in one story, in one of the books, I mean, there's a poem by Erica Jong, Jong, and it says, "What is this thing called life? A baby is born sobbing and we smile. Yet an old man dies with a smile on his face and we cry."
Yeah, wow.
Right? What is this thing called life? Do we maybe walk around in just the rags of what we call life, and yet maybe beyond that is where life really exists? And so it's a beautiful poem that causes you to question. So, I mean, I had to study all forms of things to get what I already knew, which sounds crazy, but it's what confirmed it for me.
Right. No,
you know?
I get it. You have to, it's like you said, you have to be empty before you can be filled. So.
And I have spoke to too many people that have gone to the other side that have given me information that I couldn't possibly have had. And I've seen them. My father's father came to me in the middle of a storm, driving down the road. He died in his sleep in the hospital in his late 90s. And there was something he wouldn't tell me, but he said, "Tell Edith, I am so sorry about Lowell." And he said, "I was really wrong. Let her know how wrong I was." But how he came to me, I'm driving down the road, driving back from my friends, right, to Aptos. And all of a sudden, I see this young man in these pants that come out at the calves, you know, like bloomers, and I'm like, oh my God, that's like a World War I army fatigue. And he says to me, "You don't recognize me, do you?" I said, "No, I don't recognize you at all." So he turns around and shows me him as an old man. I went, "Oh, Virgil." And he goes, "Yep. Do you think I really want to look like that anymore?" So he says, "I liked myself kind of when I was this age, young and virile, and he used to call me his little angel." And he said, "You're my little angel, and I want you to give information to Edith for me." See, people who are psychic are like lights to those on the other side. They see us, and they know they can communicate with us, which is we're open.
Right.
And so they see that. And so he had me give information to her that he was wrong about Lowell and all these things. And she didn't tell me at the time. She said, "What specifically did he say?" I said, "He just said he was wrong and that you should know that he was wrong and that if he had to do over again, he would have changed what he did." And she said, "I'd like to know more about this." Well, the problem at that time was the electricity in 5 states went out with a storm. Oregon, California, and all the 5 states that have their systems connected. It was a bad storm. Wow. And so we got disconnected back before cell phones. We got disconnected. Sure. And so we never, but you know, so they come to you and they tell you things. And so I couldn't deny the experiences that I had with it. You know, I have 2 sons who talk to me all the time about the other side. And either I'm a loony bin or there's life after death. and one of the things I was told about the other side was when you're no longer afraid to die, you'll no longer be afraid to live.